What happened was, because of circumstances, I was eventually put in temporary housing because I had a condition. So the council was really good. They offered me this temporary housing, which didn't support me really, but it was the best they could. But all that time, and my understanding now of the law of attraction, so I'm in pain constantly, so I'm going to get that pain, and it's going to happen even more. And I was at the doctor's, I'm this, I haven't got a proper home, I'm struggling, I'm this, dealing with 101 things. And then part of what then happened, unconsciously I said to myself, I just want to feel better. How can I feel better? My days were, how can I feel better? And as luck would have it, me just asking that and not knowing I was asking it, then I got opportunities come my way. So I got a letter come through the door, and and I remember I hadn't opened my post for days. It piled up. I didn't want to open my post because it never happy, was it? So I never opened my post, and I opened this letter. We're just letting you know there is this scheme for self-build. Community Self-Build Association are looking for people who want to get involved with self-build, blah, 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 blah. And I read it and I looked at it and I thought, well, that ain't for me. Oh, you've got to have money. No, you've got to have building skills. So I binned this letter, I took it out the bin, looked at it. The fear of making a call was so tough because at that time, all I did, if I spoke to anybody, I would cry. I was so consumed with pain, with stress. I mean, there were times I wanted to end my life. That was it. It's like, how can I do that? And so there I am, all consumed in this, and this letter comes through. And shan't I phone them? I asked my occupational therapist. She said, oh, you don't want to phone her because there'll be loads of people going for it, and you can't climb ladders and do that, can you? And I thought, no. And then something made me make that call. So I made this call, lovely girl called Stephanie on the other end of the phone. And I said, well, I've got this letter. I don't know whether I qualify. I'm homeless. I'm in temporary housing. I haven't got any money. I'm on benefits. I've got rheumatoid arthritis. I'm in a lot of physical pain, blah, blah, blah. All the negative things. And she went, congratulations, you reached the criteria. You qualify.
Wow.
And I went, and I've actually shared this story at the House of Lords. I did a speech there about my journey with my housing association, and they asked me to do a speech. That was another nerve-wracking thing. But
wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
share that.
I like this. I just did a talk.
I just did a little
the house,
speech, you know, and in the ethos I am somewhere.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so lots of that. Anyway, I won't digress because I do have a habit of digressing on all different roads. So anyway, she said the closing date, I phoned on the Friday, she said the closing date is actually today. And I went, she said, don't worry though, I really think you've got something to offer, Linda. And with that I burst into tears, total tears, sobbing. And she said, oh, don't worry, Linda. She said, I'll extend it, I'll send you the application form out. And I actually, for the first time, wrote the application form and a bit of tongue-in-cheek, I'm a young 50, because I was 50 then. I'm a young, and I can do massage, that'll help with the builders, you know, and all of that, even though I couldn't do massage because my hands were really painful. But I was almost tongue-in-cheek, really. I wasn't, I almost, normally when I did things, it's got to be done properly, but for this, I don't know why, I was very light-hearted. And then I sent it off, she got it Tuesday, I think, and then she said, I'll come in for an interview at the college. And so the idea was that they picked 12 people off of the council list who were homeless, and they didn't only build their home, they built their lives back. What a fantastic scheme.
That was amazing.
Yes, Self-Build Community Agency fund it, and then they enrol the housing association and the colleges and the builders and everybody else, the job centres, wasn't job centre then, benefits office or whatever, and they worked together to support these 12 people. So what was great, I had no idea that was what it was about, but it's just what I'd needed. I'd lost my way, I didn't really value myself, getting emotional now. I didn't value myself, and it was tough, you know. the whole situation. And because of my condition, the only place that was available was the disabled flat. So they offered that. They said, we want you to have the disabled flat because you know there's only one left, and because there was 12 people, and apparently there'd been a big advert in the town about it, and they'd done lots of things in the town hall, but I never actually saw them. And they said they had over 2,000 applicants. So on our bless that I got chosen, and that changed my world. And then because of the housing association were to support us, and then what they wanted to do was encourage us to create a new skill set. So it wasn't only about the house, it was building people up. So we had 3 young guys who were homeless and on drugs, and they was on the streets. We had somebody who had mental health issues, a guy had all different needs, you know, like almost the me with my disability and homeless and all of that. So, and I was the oldest on the scheme, and my neighbour. Yes, we are sitting out.
We are sitting outside having a little wave here.
Of the community area. Well, my community area. I've acquired this bit of community area.
Italy.
In our lovely, little Italy. You know, we have just flown ourselves over to Little
We have,
Italy,
it's lovely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you. So, so with that came lots of support. And because of the scheme, each person were taught a skill. So they worked with the college. So the guys could learn plumbing, bricklaying, anything else. But obviously I couldn't do any of them because physically I couldn't do it. And so they said to me, what do you want to do? So what they suggested that I shadowed the support person, Stephanie, and she started to teach me computers because, you know, we had meetings, so I had to be involved with creating meetings and stuff and all that went with. And they put me on I said, well, I'm interested in doing, because I'd gone on a self-esteem course by the More to Life, and that changed my life. And I literally
you've often talked about that More to Life.
And I really valued that. The processes were amazing, that again, and that came along all at the same time, everything, because my energy, what happens is when you get to rock bottom, it's knowing that there is a way, that means that you've got to rock bottom, that means you are going to come up, so it's like the trampoline. So I knew what I didn't want. I didn't want to be homeless, I didn't want to have this condition, I didn't want to be in this situation, and what I wanted was a home. I wanted a home, I wanted a place to belong again, I wanted a community. So unknowingly, I wouldn't have said that at that time, but that's what I was seeking. And the universe, what happens is in that moment, the universe delivers, doesn't it? Because suddenly my energy shifted. Somebody's offered me something. Somebody's seen my potential, because I hadn't seen my potential. So immediately then things come to me. So at the same time I went on the self-esteem course, which happens to be in a community centre, not like just over there. How uncanny is that?
Yeah.
And this, we didn't know this area was going to be for the housing, the community thing, and so that came along. So at that moment, I'm now on the housing association who want to help me with my education to build my life back, and I'm also doing this self-development, learning about myself, learning about my mind, learning about processes that I can shift my energy from place of resistance that I was in for a long time into appreciation. So I'd learnt lots of processes that would help me with that, and then so I was involved with that. I became a mentor, I became a facilitator, I was on all the courses I went on there. I was there, you know, London, I used to travel, and whatever they asked me, I'd be there on the phones, in the office in London. It was like all volunteering. And then I've got the other side, which is the Housing Association, who possibly see potential in me and wanted me to be like the spokesperson. So whenever there was an event or anything, Linda, would you go? Because I just started taking pictures. So they said, oh, well, would you go on this and would you go on that? And so that I had, you know, and I gave an interview to the Observer, and I thought it was the local Observer. Oh, and it wasn't.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I'm chubbering away because he phoned me and it was like 2 hours late, and I said, you do realise you're 2 hours late? And we're having this conversation because it was a phone thing, and unbeknown to me, I said, when does the Observer come out, you know, locally? No, it comes out every day. It's the National Observer. So we're in the middle, what do they call the magazine? We're in the magazine.